What up, everybody? I'm your host, JP, and this is my co-host, Josh.
Hey, everyone.
And we got an emergency. Welcome back to another episode of the FilmBros podcast. All right, guys. Now, I said we got an emergency, and the reason why I'm telling you guys we have an emergency, emergency and C, you know what I mean? But S-E-E, not C, as in the letter C. But
Okay.
Yeah. So, see, guys, the other day on another episode, I let you guys know that this day was coming. The day where we talk Marvel. What's going on? Where is it heading? Where do we think it's heading? What are the outcomes that are going to happen? What we want to happen versus what's logically what's going to happen. And the reason why I decided, like, hey, today's the day, because Marvel hasn't completely fell. And I just want to start off by saying I'm a Marvel fan. I'm not preying on its downfall. I'm just saying what's happening as of right now, where I think it's going to go. I hope Marvel comes back. I hope Marvel comes back, right?
What are you talking about? You're saying that like it's gone.
I'm not saying it's gone yet, but I like Marvel. Okay. And it don't look like it's going in a good direction.
Okay.
As of right now. I mean, we're going to break down everything right now, but as of right now, I mean, you're a Marvel fan, right?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
And let's just say, as a Marvel fan, at least me, and maybe you can answer this for yourself too.
Okay.
We have been very unhappy with what Marvel has been producing as of lately.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Yeah. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in on what's happening. And first things first.
Wait, but before we get into the news, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Today's episode is sponsored by ZippyStream. If you are wondering how we make money to run our podcast, it's all because of this innovative platform. Here at FilmBros Podcast, we absolutely love using ZippyStream. It's the easiest way to convert listeners into an email list, but best of all, they find us sponsorship so we can keep making money doing what we love.
Suppose you're also a podcaster thinking about starting one. ZippyStream will help you find and manage a relationship with brands that are relevant to your audience. If you want to learn more, contact us as soon as possible. Everyone that signs up this month will get to claim £10 as a joining bonus, which is around $12 or something like that.
Just reach out to us by email or social media DMs, and I'll put you in touch with the guys at ZippyStream right away. Now back to the pod. We could be losing our major big bad within the MCU because as of today, as of the time of recording this, we've heard that Jonathan Majors Entertainment talent manager Entertainment 360 has confirmed to have dropped him completely. Even his PR team, Liddell Company, has dropped him as well. Now, Liddell Company, the PR team says that they dropped him last month.
Damn. So that means when everything happened, basically.
When everything basically happened, the lawyer put out what he put out, and seems like it was too much of a liability, and they pulled out. Now they did him a courtesy.
Mm-hmm.
They did him a courtesy. They didn't tell anybody just yet. Nobody knew about it, because a whole month later says a lot.
Yeah.
That says that, hey, we did you a favor. We let you try to clear up your shit. You didn't do it. Now we gotta report that we're not paying, or you're not paying us anymore, and for a reason, you know. So it seems like everything just, everything spiraled out of control. Now a lot of people are comparing this to the Johnny Depp case and stuff like that. Like, he's losing everything. But I told you since the beginning, when those messages came out from the lawyer, that it was sketchy from the jump.
Yeah.
And now this, in my opinion, is a certified kind of like, hey, like, he probably did something bad to the point where his manager and his PR team said, hey, we can't even help you. Yeah. But hearing all this, at least from what's happening with Jonathan Majors, what do you think? Do you think Marvel's recasting? You think we're, is it too late to recast? I don't know.
It's not looking good. But damn it, Majors, come on. I don't know how to feel. You know what I mean? I don't know how to feel. I know that he probably did do it, more than likely, now that all this stuff is resurfacing, because it was hush hush for a month. it's been pretty quiet. And
Yeah.
this is like the big major news since then. Since basically the lawyer dropped those things.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of just like it's getting to that time where things are gonna start coming to light, and yeah, he most likely did it if everyone's dropping him already. But as far as his role with Kang, I don't think. I want to say optimistically, I want to be like, no, he'll stay around, but Marvel might probably recast him.
See, and Deadline also reported that there hasn't been any talks with Fahi or Majors about a recast or anything like that. So from what we hear, honestly, there's no reason. I mean, this is kind of like a fluke thing. Now, I was hearing some people say like, hey, you should have probably done some research, some behind the stuff research on the people that you cast, especially in a major role, to make sure that there's nothing going on behind closed doors. Now, what happened seems like an incident that was isolated because other people came up, but not a lot of people came up. Wait, you remember when the text messages came out, and I had told you that a couple people from his old film school came up, like 2 people. Respect, like with all due respect, they didn't have a lot of credits, if that makes sense. So how reliable were they? You know what I mean? So it seems like this was an isolated incident. I mean, I don't want to say we give a domestic abuse a free pass because I mean, we've heard, and a lot of people bring this up too, Josh Brolin saying that he had that Josh Brolin had an abuse case. I mean, James Gunn had issues on Twitter but then brought back. I guess that's kind of different because it's not really abuse, but people have scandals all the time. People can bounce back from them, but this kind of seems like an indicator that it's not going to go well. And if those talks haven't happened yet with Fahi, it sounds like they will be happening pretty soon.
I don't know. It's hard to say because they've kept people around before. They've kind of done all that. And if he's under contract, can't he basically isn't he obligated to do those roles till he can't or until the contract's over?
Well, I mean, I'm sure they have an out clause. I'm sure they have something like, hey, if you do something that breaches our contract or gets you in trouble and we can't make movies from you, sometimes they just take the role away. And then I've heard of cases where they actually fine the person, the actor, because in there says that there's a penalty of this much money because of the fact that they won't be able to finish the movie, or they got to pay money to get somebody else or something. So I'm sure they have clauses in there, and I'm sure for a case like Majors being the big bad and him needing to be there for quite a few projects, I'm pretty sure that they had all kinds of the best intentions in the contracts, but it doesn't. I wouldn't put it past them that Disney probably put a little fail safe in there.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I want to. Oh man, this is tough because I want to see him around more, but I know he can't because he's kind of in deep water now, and he's probably sinking.
Yeah, this ain't gonna just affect his MCU. This is the bigger role because obviously, this is the role that was gonna basically make him that name everywhere. You know what I mean? Like everybody was gonna know him because he was gonna be that big bad all the way through. But now he's losing a potential maybe Creed 3 spinoff. I'm not sure if that was in the works, but I'm sure, with as great as he did in the third one, I'm sure they weren't going to let that potential go to waste and they were going to pick him up again. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he's been a rising star. He's had a lot of success, for the short time he's been in the limelight. So this is a hard blow. This is a hard hit. Like I said, maybe it just got to the point where it was time's up. Hey, we can't hold this secret in anymore. But letting something like this out really shows like how much deep shit he's in. At least him as himself,
Basically, yeah. To have your whole PR team drop you, dog, what did you do?
Manager, PR team. He did it. That's what he did. He slapped her and he choked her, bro. That's probably what happened. And it sucks. And I told you, like I said, those messages. Very damning. They sounded like it was like, oh yeah, like I told them what they needed to hear type shit. You know what I mean? And that was not a good look for him at all.
Yeah, no. Damn, man.
So the legal team didn't really do much work with that one. So, we'll have to wait and see what develops with this. I mean, hopefully I mean, Major should have came out and said something a long time ago, in my opinion. We haven't heard a word from him.
It feels like, he's just ducking it all.
Oh,
and we don't even have like a trial date or nothing. It's been on the hush hush. So like now you're kind of like, well, what's going on? Is his team gonna pull him out quietly? Well, I guess not team, but whoever he decides to hire next. And then what comes next? Is he gonna need another PR team and whatever else to get him more jobs? Like, what's it gonna be like after the storm blows over?
He can either have an incredible comeback, or people just forget about it, or he's probably not gonna work in Hollywood for a while.
Damn, man, I want to see Jonathan Majors flipping burgers. I need more of him. If I'm being so for real, like I enjoy him as an actor.
I liked him too. Like I said, the role that brought me to him was the one that he did in Lovecraft Country on HBO, and I think he did a good job. And I thought, like, yeah, for a while there, like, oh my God, we're about to see so much of him. Like, we seen him in like 3 or 4 movies in a row in 1 year kind of thing. And I was like, man, it's a Jonathan Majors takeover, and he put a stop to that pretty quick. That's what he did. It was his takeover, and he said, you know what, I don't think I want it, and decided to do what he did. So
yeah, man,
yeah, really, really hurt his chances. So we'll have to wait to see what happens. But there's so many factors, right? There's so many factors on what's happening with the MCU. So we have this front, Jonathan Majors. Now we have the issue when it comes to the movies, right? We got the issue that comes with Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and the Marvels. Now, with Kang being already a big course corrector, all right, that's gonna have to be a big ass like turn for the big fucking ship that's Marvel, right? Now we're at the point where we're really relying on Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and the Marvels. Now, we talked about this a little bit before in a different episode. We said, hey, like, you know, what if they don't make it, right? So at this point, we're hearing that Brie Larson's trailer is the worst of the whole, like, all of YouTube, right? The Marvel's trailer. We hear Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is only projected to make about $150 million in its opening weekend.
God damn.
Way less than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Fuck.
Now, it's been a trend, right? That these Marvel movies have not been making the same as its predecessor. You know, Thor basically gradually started making more and more till they hit where the peak that it did in Ragnarok, and then Love and Thunder couldn't match. It still made a shit ton of movie. It made a shit ton of money, right? 800 million is not nothing. Yeah, 800 million is nothing to sneeze at, right? It's still good. It's not bad. I think Ragnarok made like about $1 billion or something like that, right? Or like 900, almost $1 billion. So kind of underperformed there. Now you got what's the next one? Quantumanium, the predecessor to Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think at the end of their run made about 600 million. At the end of their Quantumanium's run made about 447 million. That's an issue too. Wakanda Forever, $1 billion. Though it made a lot of money, 800 million is still a lot of money. I think Wakanda Forever made about 100 million, but Black Panther 1 was like 1.15 bill. You know what I mean? So there's been a trend, and you know, a lot of I could say that, hey, maybe, you know, one bad one, like, you know how Dark World, you know, maybe some people want to put Iron Man 2. I personally like Iron Man 2, but some people say Iron Man 2 is bad. I already said Dark World. What other movie did they say it was bad in the MCU before? They were kind of wishy-washy about Doctor Strange because it was too similar to Iron Man. So, like, you know, little hiccups here and there has come from Marvel before.
Yeah.
But not a consistent hiccup. And it's been consistently happening. Not just with the movies. We could say the TV shows too, because She-Hulk, the Marvels, or Miss Marvel, you know, though they say a lot of people watched it, I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. Hawkeye, you know, they said that was a letdown. So Marvel has been on a losing streak. I don't think it's, you know, a hiccup anymore. I think it's they're saying, hey man, we can still do this. So at this point, like I said, with Kang with everything happening with Marvel, I think their backs are up against the wall with Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and the Marvels.
Yeah, I've been saying this.
No, but before it wasn't definitive. Now at this point, it's definitive. Like literally, we are at this point where what's gonna happen if they don't make it? Underperforming is one thing. You know what I mean? Like underperforming is one thing. Like Quantumanium, that's a flop. Like I said, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever made $100 million. Maybe it wasn't more than what the first one made, but it still made bank. You know what I mean? So maybe they could be like, hey, you know what? We're going to take this out, but we still got a good chunk of cash.
Mm-hmm.
If these movies don't turn out a good chunk of cash, which Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I could probably say maybe 600 million. Maybe. If it does better, who knows? Honestly, the ratings and the reviews when they come out, they have to be really good. So word of mouth spreads around quick with Volume 3. With the Marvels, I do not know if that one's going to make it. I know you say that did you say that it was probably gonna do it? Like, did you have you said it?
Probably, yeah. But I think like what has it going against it is that the people that say the MCU and then the people that don't like Brie Larson for some reason, like it has those big things going against it. The first one I think made hella money though, if I remember right.
The first one made like about 1.1 billion. Yeah, mm-hmm. It made in the billions, but a lot of people still said that they disliked the movie, but that it only made that much because of the fact that it was in between two big epic films and they felt like they had to watch it. You know what I mean? So we're going to have to wait and see if that is true when it comes out. But I'll tell you right now, it being the most disliked YouTube video doesn't help at all. There's
another weight.
Now, we already been hearing that, Marvel's been back to the drawing board saying, hey, we gotta fix this, right? That we already heard that. Fahi's already making changes. Now we're hearing rumors that, Fahi is trying to get more experienced filmmakers. Filmmakers that a lot of people said before that Fahi hired a lot of new on the scene filmmakers to kind of mold them and have them do what he wants. Now, apparently, he's leaning more towards experienced filmmakers. With that comes more money. Right, more experienced filmmakers are gonna you're gonna have to pay them a little bit more to come through, right?
Basically, yeah.
I'm thinking there's a course correction going on with all these rumors going on, with everything. The backs being up against the wall with Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain Marvel. I'm connecting the dots and I'm doing the best that I can. Keep up with me, y'all. I'm like a madman with theorist guy, with my hair all over the place on the front of the chalkboard, but I think something's coming. I think there's a big course correction coming, and I think we're gonna get fewer movies, fewer TV shows. I think we're gonna hear announcements about different things that are gonna come out, and I think some of the Phase 5 and 6 is gonna probably get scrapped and revamped. I think a big change is coming for the MCU, and I think it's probably gonna be announced probably at CinemaCon if they even feel confident enough to even do that. I mean, when does Guardians of the Galaxy 3 come out? I know it got pushed back, so it's not coming out in May. It's coming out in June, right?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. I don't keep track of that release date.
But what are your thoughts on this?
It sounds right. It sounds about right. I know we've talked about it before, and my big thing is that it's clearly blatant that the MCU hires these people, these younger people, new people, so that way they can mold them and be like, hey, you guys get the exposure, we get our movie made, no pushback, it is what it is. And then, the movie's made and it does however well and your name is tied to it. It's definitely going to cost more money for new or for experienced filmmakers, but yeah. If the course correction happens and they're like, like the old days, we'll pump out 2 movies a year, maybe give two shows a year, that could set them up fine. You know what I mean? Give people breathing room. Don't make me have to watch 4 movies a year like the previous years have been pretty much up till COVID, and then force us to spend that money between gaps because. It was a pain in the ass to be like, oh, we got to watch Quantumania, and then we got to watch Captain Marvel, and then we got to watch Endgame, all in the same year. Like having 3 movies, it rakes it in, but you got to reevaluate what's happening with your CGI, your projects, and everything else. you can't be experience all these things that people have a problem with, because the CGI problem has been a problem since before Infinity War, and then
You could say it started back in Civil War if you want to.
exactly. So I mean, like, when you got fans who are kind of like, oh, your CGI kind of sucks, then you got to kind of be like, well, yeah, our CGI does sucks, and then you got it reconfirming with every other project.
Honestly, it's not even like they don't just say it sucks, okay? Because you see a bunch of memes online. Like, I'm sure Marvel and Disney see that. I'm sure Feige sees that. I mean, how many times was that picture reposted with Flash in that background of the city or whatever? You know, like, same thing with Love and Thunder with the whole scene with the kids and everything, or that the little face that was floating in that one scene too. Like, Marvel's been getting dragged for a while about bad CGI, and it seems like they have yet to do anything about it. It's not even just being like, oh, this is bad, and people talking about that is bad. People have been making literal memes and saying how bad it is. And honestly, the CGI at the MCU right now is not where it needs to be. 100% it's not where it needs to be. So we got a lot of issues, a lot of problems. If you were in charge of all this, how would you fix this?
I do it like that. Maybe, yeah, get more familiar names tied to your stuff to be like, oh, okay, we got so-and-so directing this. Did it shell out a bit of money? Yeah, we had to do what we had to do, but at least I know that someone is backing it. You know what I mean? Not just a rookie. So that, and at the same time, give them a little bit of free range to just kind of do what they need to do. Tell the story, move on, and then, like, if they
write a compelling story and then figure out how to connect it later.
Exactly. Exactly. And then, like, whatever tone they decide to take it with, let that be creative. Because, yeah, the MCU does tonal changes with each film or show, but at the same time, you very much know that, hey, this is still MCU product. It'll crack that dumb joke. It'll say that cheesy line. You know what I mean? It'll do all this and that. So worry about the tone that you want to set and let the director have fun with that tone. And then, yeah, worry about throwing an end credit scene or something to say that, yeah, it is connected. Something. Just worry about that last. And then, yeah, like I said, make the projects distant.
Yeah, because we need to figure out why. I mean, they need to figure out why. Because us as fans, we could tell them exactly why these, they haven't been working for people. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't, and I understand Disney, Marvel, like, they are this massive ship. They are not going to course correct in the first sign of an iceberg, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to ram that motherfucker and not give a shit maybe a couple of times, and then maybe that third iceberg, they're going to be like, hey, you know what? Maybe we need to turn a little.
Out of Band-Aids.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we need to turn a little bit. So, I mean, it takes a minute, and I think this is the change that is happening. I think the MCU is hitting rock bottom. I think it's starting to fall down. Like I said, who knows with these next two movies what happens, but I think at this point, like, if we got to rely on two movies that are going to really make or break, because I honestly believe these two movies are going to make or break the MCU right now, whether fans are going to still be interested, whether, you know what I mean, if they're going to have that appeal to the broader audience, because, superhero films are having a bad rap as it is, you know what I'm saying? So, like, it's getting to that point. It's literally getting it looks so weird, because I never thought Marvel would let it get to this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, like, it's so weird to think about, because say these movies flop, even James Gunn and his whole Guardians thing. Imagine that shit. Imagine just being like, oh yeah, the Captain Marvel and Guardians flopped, and Kevin Feige's just like, we gotta do something, and then they're just like, well, we can't do anything. So then he's like, we gotta shut shit down now. We gotta close house. Maybe reevaluate shit for a few years before pumping out another Marvel movie or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The end of the MCU is just that. It's over with. You know what I mean? Like, I can't fathom the day we don't have another MCU movie.
That'd be crazy. That'd be a crazy day. That'd be getting choked up over here about thinking about that. But that sounds insane. I don't think Marvel will let it go that bad. I don't think that would ever happen. I get maybe a hiatus, maybe dropping down to that 2-movie thing, but I don't think they'll completely let it die. I think right now it's getting to the point where it needs to go to the ER, but I don't think it's on respiratory as of right now. You know what I mean? I think if these 2 movies flop, it'll be on that respiratory. Like, it'll need oxygen and, maybe defibrillation one time or something. But if those 2 movies drop. Right now, they're just in the hospital. They're a little beat up. They can come back. They can come back.
Man. I don't know. I've been saying it for the past couple pods every time we think about this slate and everything. I don't think, like, even if you like the first 2 James Gunn Guardians movies, and then you're like, well, the third one looks kind of cool. The third one, to me, looks kind of plain. You know what I mean? Compared to the other 2.
And a lot of people are saying, like, oh, it looks so sad, and, oh, because of Rocket and everything. And I'm just like, I like Guardians of the Galaxy. I like the movies, but not, that trailer, like, it looks good. The trailer looks good. I really like the music choices that they pick for these movies. But I don't know if it's going to... If this Guardians of the Galaxy, it doesn't, like, hit, like, a string, because I feel like that those movies have failed to always do that for me, where it hit that little heartstring like it's supposed to. I know some people say they love it and stuff, but for me, it always misses that element.
Basically. I know people would like to be like, oh, Yondu's death and stuff, and I'm like, well, I don't know, because I didn't feel that. So... I'm not too sure, but yeah, that's how I feel about that. I have high hopes for the Marvels because I enjoyed the first one, and then I don't know. I can't think about it. What comes after? Because these are the last 2 movies of the year, and then we only have 2 shows this year: Loki and Secret Invasion.
Mm-hmm.
Secret Invasion looks fine, and then Loki season 2. We haven't even gotten a trailer. We got 1 trailer for that.
Oh, you know what? That's something we did not bring up though. Jonathan Majors is a big key player in Loki season 2. Do you think that this season might get postponed because of what's going on right now with him?
No. Everything's already filmed and shot and ready to move out. And I think they're just making CGI touches. I think this might be his final performance as King. Which honestly might conflict more people to be like, damn, but he was so good. You know what I mean?
If he kills it in that role, maybe, and maybe people will forget about it. But if they find him guilty before the show comes out, that is dead on arrival. Nobody's gonna watch that. People are just gonna rip it to shreds before they give it a chance. It will be a bad thing. I'm hoping they probably stick to it and just leave him in there. But I don't know. What if they pull what is that? The Army of the Dead and CGI his character all the way out and just put somebody else in there. I don't know. You know about that, right? Yeah, Tegan. Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I don't see that happening. But for sure, yeah. I was gonna say that if he comes out and he has a trial and he's guilty and stuff way before Loki season 2 comes out, then yeah, that show is fucked. Not by me though. I can't lie. I'm still gonna watch it.
You're still gonna watch it?
I'm still gonna watch it. I like the first season so much. I'm not giving up on it. But other people will.
Just don't let them hit female superheroes. It'll be too soon. Way too soon. But yeah, so Marvel is up in the air. Disney Marvel is up in the air. We don't know what's gonna happen with it. We'll keep a closer eye. I'll continue to connect the dots. If you guys like the theory that I'm throwing out, what's happening? I mean, I'm assuming we're gonna get more. I'm assuming we're gonna get more information in the coming days. I don't think they're just gonna stay quiet about what's going on here.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. But moving on, people that aren't at Disney anymore or with Marvel are saying that they would like to do a little bit of DC action. So we got the Russo brothers saying that they'd love to direct Batman, the Brave and the Bold. How do you feel about that?
Okay. Now, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that one. I'm sure they could do it. I'm sure it would turn out fine, but I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know what it is that I can't see anyone handling Batman. Maybe it's because we have so much Batman, and you're kind of like, well, who else? What can they really bring to the table besides the angst that Matt Reeves brought and the other shit that Christopher Nolan brought? So to me, I'm more like, until someone's attached and I know what their name and what they've done before, I can't see anyone taking that role until James Gunn is like, oh, we got so and so doing it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Anthony Russo basically says, we don't get asked a lot about DC characters. Obviously, James is over there running it. It would be a no-brainer. We love him to death. We love the direction he's going to take the world in. You know, he's going to be inventive with it. And they talk about their favorite DC characters. And
Who are their favorite?
Spider-Man, X-Men, and Batman.
That's not. Those aren't.
He said that they said that they're more Marvel fans, but they even say here that there's been a lot of iterations of Batman, so I feel like that's an obvious answer, but you know it's not that hard to answer that. Here's how you know we haven't actually gotten literal about it and specific about it, because yeah, Batman would be my favorite character for my entire childhood, but obviously it's been well explored. So yeah, I think they're more Marvel guys, and they're just they would be willing to do a DC movie, in my opinion.
Can't trust Marvel fans with a DC project.
You're trusting James Gunn.
When did I ever say I trust that man?
And speaking of that too, I mean, maybe this is kind of I didn't pull it up, but James Gunn basically had was asked about why he's promoting Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and also promoting or running DC Studios. A fan on Twitter basically had came out and said, "Hey, how you doing both? Like that's why you can't trust DC, because you know you got somebody from Marvel working on it." And he basically went on this rant saying that how would Warner Brothers or WBD feel about hiring somebody that turns their back on a whole franchise that he built for over 12 years. And it's on Twitter. I'll show it to you more in depth later, but that's basically the gist of it. And I'm just thinking, like, man, like,
didn't you do that shit?
Yeah.
Didn't you come in and then ignore someone else's universe? So I mean, fuck you, kind of, for saying that shit.
I don't know. I think you're being too harsh.
No, I don't give a fuck. Not saying, but I can't trust that. If they don't even know a lick of Batman, or they say they don't know him well enough, and they think that other iterations got him right, Matt Reeves and Christopher Nolan, depends on who you ask. But like, you can't hand them a project like that and then they don't know a lick of anything new.
Well, they could study and read comic books. That's something.
They're not gonna want to do that shit. They're probably gonna hand it to their writers and be like, read every single issue.
Chat GTP. Chat GTP.
Chat GTP. Write me a Batman script.
Yeah. I don't know. I would see them. I could see them. Now, I haven't seen a lot of their movies outside the MCU. I've seen a couple. A lot of their earlier stuff. But I don't know. A lot of people are putting up that video of like Winter Soldier when Cap is going against the Winter Soldier, and I'm just like, that's a cool scene, but I think they could probably make a better one with like Batman and Deathstroke or something. That'd be nice. I mean, with the work that they did in Winter Soldier and in Infinity War. I mean, Endgame was cool too, but I kind of feel like the other two were better for them. Yeah. I think they might be able to do it. I mean, I get loyalty and, you know, maybe sabotages in their cards because they are Marvel people or whatever, but you never know. And it sounds like they have a good relationship with James Gunn and they know what direction he's going in, so who knows if they fit.
Maybe. I can imagine they'll have that call eventually, especially now that they're speaking about it. James Gunn is just going to be like, well, there you go.
Excuse me, you said you want to direct Batman, huh?
Yeah, basically. That's exactly how I
discount price? The homie discount?
The homie discount.
And the Russos are just like, nah, we worked for Marvel, motherfucker. We don't do that. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. I mean, I wouldn't put it like as a bad thing if they were to do that.
Yeah, well, what do you know? You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't see it bad either, but I wouldn't exactly see it as a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be kind of a kind of thing.
Okay, like a whatever until you see it.
Basically.
Okay, I get that, and that's fair. But moving on, though, we also got a Knuckles spinoff now in production. Idris Elba's coming back to voice Knuckles, and Adam Pally will also come back to reprise his role as the Sheriff Wally from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. it will be a show on on Paramount Plus. I was about to say Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, and we'll basically have it. It sounds like a team up, kind of like what Sonic is with the other human in the movies. Sounds like it's gonna be the sheriff and Knuckles in this one.
Cool, very cool. I haven't seen the second Sonic movie, so I can't say if I'm excited for this or not.
You haven't seen the second Sonic movie?
Nah,
You seen the first Sonic movie?
I have.
But you haven't seen the second Sonic movie.
Basically,
Knuckles was in there, man.
I am familiar.
Then
with the
how'd you know
character.
that Shadow was at the end of it?
I saw the post-credit scene.
Oh,
online.
you just skipped the whole movie.
I could not see it. I like Shadow.
But what about the rest of the movie? What about Knuckles and Tails?
I like Knuckles. I don't know about Tails, but I like Knuckles.
Well, either which way, he's getting a show. So if you like Knuckles, he's getting a show.
Okay, yeah.
So
I hear that's close.
well, why don't you sound a little bit more excited about Knuckles?
Because I haven't seen him in the second one. So
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
that's
know.
right. You don't know how he acts.
I don't know how he acts. I'm just like, okay, this is just another show. But
He has such a badass moment in the second one.
oh, see, I haven't
Multiple badass
seen it. Well, I haven't
moments.
seen it.
You got to get on that.
I know. Is it on Paramount Plus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, then I'll check it out
I
later.
also have them on physical copy.
Oh, I didn't know that. What the fuck?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I have them both.
I have not seen you once pop that motherfucker in the DVD.
No,
player.
because it's mostly for the kids.
Well, there you go. See, calling me a child. I haven't seen these movies.
I watched it with them multiple times.
Yeah, it's because you're a child too. No, what do you call it? You know, exciting. If you're excited for this, cool. I'll get around to watching it, and then maybe who knows? I like Knuckles, but I did see that end credit scene with Shadow, so that's cool.
If it was a Shadow show, you'd be a little bit more
Oh
excited.
fuck yeah! I'd be like,
But
sign me up immediately.
but Knuckles doesn't doesn't hit your radar. It doesn't up it up for you.
a little
Nothing.
bit, yeah, but
I would
but
want.
I
I want to
haven't-
see this.
I,
This looks exciting.
yeah, and I'm sure it is. But you've seen the second movie. I haven't. If I don't know where they were just like, here's Shadow, I'd be like, sheesh. I'd be like, yeah, fuck yeah. Hell, if this universe gets big enough and they get to like Silver,
Yeah.
I'd see that. Cause he's a fucking time traveler.
Who? Knuckles?
Silver,
Sonic?
Silver.
Oh, he's an actual like
He's a
random
Sonic
character.
He's
Oh,
a Sonic character.
oh, it's
think
because
his
I
name is
seen
Silver.
Sonic go gold in the second one.
Yeah, that's because of the emeralds. See,
Yeah.
I know the lore, but I don't. I haven't seen the movies.
Why wouldn't you have seen the movie? Oh, I feel like I gave you a spoiler. Sorry. But yeah. So
No.
if you guys are excited about it, we got Knuckles coming up.
Yeah.
Knuckles show. I think the boys are gonna be excited. I'm actually kind of excited because I don't mind the Sonic movies. They're not that bad. Jim Carrey as
Eggman.
Eggman. He's really good. I like him. He's just a hilarious man to watch.
That's cool.
I hope they get him back for Sonic 3 because he's supposed to be retired.
Maybe, unless they make Shadow the sole bad guy, but I doubt it because he also turns good. So
We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, new Sonic or new Knuckles show coming to Paramount Plus. No release date yet, but I'm assuming it'll probably be sometime
just
in.
started filming, right?
Yeah, it'll probably be sometime in like 2024, maybe
Yeah,
maybe summer.
More than likely, yeah.
But moving on, the Lilo and Stitch cast is getting stacked because now we have Nani's boyfriend cast, by David. Oh wait, no, that's the name of the boyfriend is David Kawana. What's his name? I just had his name. Oh no, Machado. Yeah, Machado. What's his first name? I just literally had it too. It's like right in my face, dude. I'm telling you, I swear it's right there. Oh, right here. Kohai Machado. So he is also another Hawaiian native with barely any IMBD. Barely any
No acting chops.
no acting chops whatsoever. And this is what I told you about the other day. It worries me about this remake. What do you think?
If he's the right guy, I hope Marvel isn't trying to shell out on people that aren't doing it correctly, because that's a big no-no. But if he's right for the job, then okay, let it be so. But I don't know. It is kind of shaky ground now, because now you're like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah, because he doesn't. I'm trying to look if he has anything else, but he really does not. He doesn't have a a lot for him, and neither do the other two actors besides Zach Galifianakis have acting chops. This sounds bad.
Not very good. No.
And it worries me a little bit. Like I said, if they're right for the job, fine. I mean, I get it. Get natives and stuff like that, Hawaiian natives. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But you're casting people that have not really acted before in a remake that is supposed to be like nostalgia ridden, right? Right?
That's the tough thing. Because you want to please fans, but at the same time, there's not many actors that are like, you know what I mean? There's not many actors for certain things, if that makes sense. Think about what's been going on with Scarlet Witch. They want a Romani actor and whatever. If sure, what's her name? Elizabeth Olsen was right for the job. Who's to say they couldn't find a Romani actor because, you know, they're probably in short supply. I don't know, but like that's assuming. And then, or what's another one? Or how they say they want the Thing Jewish, or how they want Doctor Doom, Romani as well. What do you call it? They have to be short supply actors. Either that, or you're gonna have to start going with no names, people that are fresh on the scene that fill that slot.
But now it's not the time to do that, though. Now is not the time to do that. And now, I mean, I guess you could say because not a lot of big name actors really draw in a lot of crowd for the remakes, anyways. Because I don't think any of the remakes did like they do numbers, but I don't think they do particularly good. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Like the Beauty and the Beast. What other remakes that they come up with? Well, they're coming out with a Moana one. We also have. What other remakes do we have already in the chamber?
I'm looking at
Lion King.
Lion King. All-time international box office, 100 mil. All-time domestic box office for remake movies made like 100 mil.
What? Wait, who?
The Lion King.
The Lion King made 100 mil?
Something like that. How much money did the Lion King live action make? 1.6 billion.
Oh, they did Cinderella, Pete's Dragon, Pinocchio, Mulan, Alice in Wonderland, Lady and the Tramp, Cruella, Maleficent, Beauty and the Beast. Honestly, Maleficent wasn't that bad, to be honest. I kind of like Maleficent as a remake.
Well, does that count as a remake? It tells the villain's side. It doesn't really count as a remake.
Yes, but it has a lot of the like same things that happen in Sleeping Beauty. Well, yeah, I guess you could say
it's a retelling.
And I think that worked. I think with the other ones they did it. Now Maleficent 2 is a different story, but I mean, go big or go home, I guess.
Well, no, because
Alice in Wonderland was good too.
I need more. I need another one. I need another one of that.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah,
they were really good.
I want to go back and see the two live action ones, but I want another one. I feel like it's been forever.
Yeah. I don't think we're getting any more. I don't think the second one did good. Unfortunately. Even with Taylor Swift being attached to it. Isn't that
Man. But
the Swifties didn't show up.
That was before she had all these fans, apparently.
I don't know.
Because then she switched up genres, and then that's when she got all those Swifties.
Damn MGK. But yeah, so very shaky cast for Lilo and Stitch. We're going to have to wait and see. Another thing that got Disney fans worried is that we're hearing that The Little Mermaid has a runtime of 2 hours and 15 minutes. God. About 51 minutes longer than the original Little Mermaid film.
Why?
What are they doing?
What the fuck?
Now, could this be a retelling like you were saying? Could this be another story that they're probably spitting out? If it's the same thing as the original, it shouldn't be this long.
Why is it this long? Let me find out. It's because of musical numbers. They stuffed that bitch with hella music. Let me find out.
If they have a lot of music, dude, this movie's not going to do so well for me. I don't really do musicals. You'll probably love it. You're a musical man.
Yeah, that's true. But if what I hear is true, where they're redoing music. They're putting in music and they're changing lines and shit.
We're going to see Lizzo.
Like I hear they changed the song that she does with Kiss the Girl. I hear they're redoing that one.
Kiss that boy.
So I'm not gonna vibe with this if I'm not getting down to Sebastian singing Under the Sea. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sebastian looks scarily real. So does Flounder.
yeah, that's gonna be your trip. Like you, like if you got water phobia, dog, this movie gonna scare the fuck out of y'all. like that shit looks a little too real.
You're just gonna hear somebody yell in the theater. Ah!
like the ocean scares people, and this might scare some people.
I don't know. Things a little too real. Long time. I mean, musicals, they're already bad at a long runtime.
Why is it so long? I'm guaranteeing it's because of the music. I'm guaranteeing
Yeah, it probably is. Not even that. I'm pretty sure they're probably gonna do something different too because I don't know, maybe this is like a course correction too because you see with every single remake they do something a little bit different with every single one. Maybe they're gonna try to do a little bit more compelling storytelling and it takes longer to tell said story. I don't know. 2 hours is a long time though for a Little Mermaid film. I'll tell you that much.
That's what I'm saying.
Isn't this a kids movie?
It's supposed to be.
What kid's gonna last 2 hours in a movie theater?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm thinking it's because of the music. I want to be right, and hopefully and it's not all just fact. Unless they are getting deep in the lore and they decide to like touch up on her mother and shit like that.
That'd be interesting. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, long runtime. We'll have to wait and see what is filling up all that runtime and just go from there. But moving on though, moving back into the horror scene and making honestly, I haven't seen him anywhere in a while. So he's gonna be coming out in Blumhouse's Speak No Evil. It's gonna be a remake. Apparently, this movie came out last year. It's a Danish psychological horror thriller. It was released last year. Now Blumhouse is gonna basically make an American version of it. You know, kind of like what The Grudge did and with Ju-on and stuff like that. They're gonna have James McAvoy play the star, and the film basically it follows a Danish family who, after hitting it off with a Dutch family, they meet on vacation, are invited to visit their new friends. What begins as a perfect weekend in a remote area of the Netherlands quickly turns dark as the Danes try to stay polite in the face of unpleasantness. Speak No Evil was a huge hit with critics and audiences and quickly became an international hit. So yeah, very weird premise, but I know James McAvoy, and I told you before, there's movies out there with when a certain actor is on that page, I'm going to watch that movie. James McAvoy working with Blumhouse to bring this movie alive. I'm 100% sold already.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah, I can't wait to like. Honestly, him as an actor, fucking phenomenal. He does a great job.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's tough to see these kind of things because, well, I don't know many people that watch other countries' films. You know what I mean? Like maybe if you're deep into that, you're really checking them out.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, I watched this French film or Dutch film or whatever the fuck, and you're just like, well, damn, like, because I watch movies. Sometimes I'll be watching movies from like South Korea.
Yeah.
And like some of them go hard. So, and I know everybody loved what is that? What was that show? Ready or Not. Right? Is that? I can't remember if that was it.
The movie?
No, the fucking show. The game show. Damn.
Game show.
What was that show called, man? The one with the death games.
Oh, Squid Game.
Squid Game. I don't know why I thought. It's because I was thinking of one of the actual games that they played.
Oh, okay.
But that show. I know everyone loves Squid Game.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a South Korean project. And then, Train to Busan. Or, what is that other one? Shit. It's another one that I forget. It's like Parasite, I think it's called. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That one's on Hulu, still, if I'm not mistaken. But people love that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for them to want to translate it like this is cool. I don't know anyone who watched the Danish version either, but if it works out, it works out.
If the movie's good enough, I usually tend to go check out the original one. If it's really good.
Did you see Train to Busan?
I did not see that one.
You gotta see it before they make the Train to New York or whatever the fuck it's called.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah,
American
I haven't seen it yet, but I don't really do it too often, but I know that there's times like I did bring up The Grudge as an example, but I did watch Ju-on because I was like, I just wanted to see and compare how it goes or whatever, and they do a really good job when it comes to like the original stuff. They try to make it a little bit different, and obviously in the remake to be original, but it's pretty much spot on. So can't wait to see James McAvoy in this. Honestly, like I said, him in any movie, I'm sold. You tell me James McAvoy is gonna be in it, I'm there. I'm gonna watch it.
Basically, yeah.
Honestly, I think if they do a Mrs. Doubtfire remake, I think he should play.
He should be Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, I think he'd do a good job. That's just me. That's just my hot take. Whatever. Moving on to our last and final topic. Now, we were talking about the Writers Guild and, a few episodes ago about how ChatGTP wanted to be kind of like it was part of the negotiations for the Writers Guild, basically. And now we've apparently hit a standstill where the union and Hollywood basically cannot come up with a proper deal. And this usually happens. So, I mean, maybe this is nothing to worry about. Maybe it's not something to sneeze at right now. But they do say that the Writers Guild and all the union members will potentially go on strike. And that about 98% support this strike, including a couple of filmmakers that we know ourselves, which was right. What's her names? Not Victoria Alonso. Silly, stop that.
Oh man.
Where did it go? I had the names right here too. Oh, right here. So co-director Daniel Kwan, who worked on Everything Everywhere All at Once, and producer Mike Royce from One Day at a Time. Also a showrunner for Tell Me Lies. I don't know if you heard of that, but it's a very good show. So a few people that we know are basically saying like, hey, if we don't get a good deal, we're not gonna keep working. So a few of their demands have been kind of like one was the ChatGTP, right? They want to be able to use that to help write and also get credit where credit's due, yada yada. They also want compensation for the writers, raising overall pay for their members, higher wages for everybody across the board, standardizing fees for streaming and theatrical films, as in like, hey, regardless, this is what I need to be paid up front if I'm making a streaming movie. If I'm writing for a streaming movie, this is how much I want to make up front. For a theatrical, this is how much I want to make up front.
Oh, okay.
Expanding span protection, which shields writers being compensated per episode for working for long periods on short order series. So basically, limited series, when they say, hey, we need it by this time, they need to be able to get paid extra for being rushed to do it between those times. Regulating mini rooms and instituting a mandatory 2-step points of payment for feature writers. And like I said, the ChatGTP and pushing for minimum television writing staff sizes and minimum number of weeks for employment. So a lot of heavy stuff, a lot of stuff that we really don't need to worry about. So I'm not really tripping, but what I am tripping about is what could be the repercussions for Hollywood if something does not go through with this. A lot of the studios are going to get hit. We're going to have a lot of movies on a standstill if they decide like, hey, we can't make a deal. Basically, right? Yeah. And they probably did this article and put this out as kind of like a, hey, you're going to have to use this as a talking point. A lot of people are willing to stop working if you don't meet our demands.
Yeah. Scary stuff. I think I read somewhere that the last time this happened, they prevented a Justice League movie from happening.
Yeah.
So it has the power to stop things. I don't know if it'll affect things now, maybe somewhere down the line. And not every director / filmmaker has writing jobs. So to have the Writers Guild kind of want to help and be that little thing to help push out movies, you kind of need them, because again, not every filmmaker has writing chops.
Yeah,
they kind of just see the camera, they know how to envision it. let the nerd handle the book writing, basically.
Yeah.
So
Must be easy. James Gunn is writing, directing, and producing.
this fucking guy.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It's he's like he's not affected by it at all. But yeah, this should be a no-brainer. Pay your fucking people. Pay your people. At the end of the day, I think that's it. Just pay your people. Meet their demands. They deserve if you're forcing them to work hard and fast in a small time frame, they deserve compensation for that. If they are working on a show or whatnot, pay them for whatever episode they write. You can have rotating writers at that point. Just be like, hey, I need you to only do 2, do 3, with whatever else, and boom, you have a whole season done.
Yeah.
And then so on and so forth. I still don't agree with using ChatGPT. If they're going to be using that, then all right. But yes, if they're going to be using ChatGPT, they still deserve to get paid for that.
I mean, it's good that we're talking about this and, shedding some light on it. I mean, I'm sure they're going to be fine. I'm sure they're going to have to show a little bit of force and, obviously more pay. All that stuff's a no-brainer. The thing that I want to know is when we're going to have when are we going to have that conversation about the VFX people? When are they going to get a union? When is the CGI people going to get a union? You know what I mean? Because they have to deal with all this underpaid stuff and they're not getting any of this stuff, but yet you know what I mean? Like the Writers Guild has to worry about whether or not they can put their job on a machine, you know what I mean? About ChatGPT and stuff like that. Like with this is cool. I feel like they're going to work it out. Like I said, this seems like something that they're putting out there just so they can use it as a negotiating tactic. But yeah, I think we really need to get down to that level with VFX and CGI and probably get them a union going.
You would think they would have one too, with how much they're fucking overworked and stuff. But I don't know if people care that much. You know what I mean?
Dang, about the VFX people.
Unfortunately.
I feel like they're the ones who do a bulk of the work.
They do. And they do deserve all the praise. This is why I'm so, go see that project. Go do this. Go do that. Because while all the big heads are getting the name and the director, head of the table, puppeteer. But he's feeding scraps and stuff to the visual effects artists. Because all they do is sit in front of a computer and edit it. They're editing there for hours. MCU artists are doing it for days.
Yeah. Up until the premiere.
Exactly. So, even after the fact. Because they still touch it up and then, whatever.
We'll put it on Disney Plus.
Yeah. So, they do deserve something like that. And, I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's a flexible workplace. They're just like, well, if you don't want to show up and show out, we'll get the next person in here to show up and show out. But who knows for sure.
That is true. But we're going to have to wait to see what happens with this Writers Guild. I'm sure things are going to work out just fine. I mean, a lot of big asks. More money. I mean, I would like to see how much they were making as of right now. And if they're just being greedy or what's happening. Maybe the longer extension times do sound like something that should be fair if they're not getting that as of right now. And the ChatGPT, I mean, that one, I'm 50-50 on. I don't know if it's fair to, give somebody credit for not writing something, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's kind of like using a calculator. If you don't want to do the math, you can just easily have the robot do it for you real quick. I don't know. That's an interesting one.
Well, I mean, because it would still be their idea. That's what I'm saying. AI is just, involving them in the process at all is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
If you're such a great writer, what you need a robot for? You don't see mathematicians, damn near rocket scientists using rocket fucking, like you said, calculators. I'd be very worried if the person designing a rocket was like, click, click, click.
Let me use this calculator real quick.
Let me do basic math on this bitch. I'd be very worried. But yeah, for sure. It's to think about AI and stuff involving in society and things like this. Should be something to worry about, because I totally think they should be paid, but not as much as you would if you penned the whole thing by yourself.
Yeah. That there should be a deduction for that. Because what if somebody comes through and writes a whole script and they gotta, they're getting paid this amount, and then somebody comes in with a ChatGPT and they're getting paid the same amount as that other guy who
exactly
worked harder.
Exactly. And I'm sure there's ways now to navigate that shit. I think colleges are already starting to crack down on it. Like if you're using ChatGPT to write your papers or essays, colleges can figure that out now. So I mean, you can run their shit through a machine and be like, you didn't write this full thing. For however many pages you use ChatGPT for, you lose like $1 or something. You know what I mean? Something like that.
I'm sure it's not nickels and dimes like that, but
you know what I mean? Like something like that. And like that's how I think it should go.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then for streaming and cinema, there are different things. So I don't know how people project or get paid for streaming service movies, but it can't be as much as you are if you're going to the movie theater.
No, because technically streaming makes less than the box office.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, for every watch, you get like 10 cents or some shit like that. And then that'll accumulate and trickle down. But yeah, if you're writing for a streaming service, you should be paid a certain amount. And then for a movie at the theaters, a little bit more, depending on what it is.
Very nice. Very interesting. So we'll have to wait to see what happens with this. Writers Guild on the verge of a strike. Could it affect any of the movies coming up? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But with that being said, man, a big topic that we covered today, Marvel. Marvel being in shambles. I mean, if you guys have any input on that, go ahead and let us know. Any input on the Writers Guild situation, Kang situation. Anything that we missed on this episode that we should have spoken about but we didn't, any movie that you guys want us to review, Josh, go ahead and let them know where they can tell us that.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at FilmBros Podcast. If you want to listen to us on the go, Spotify and Apple Podcast at FilmBros Podcast. If you want to support us in a big way, Zippy Stream at FilmBros Podcast. All it takes is a name and an email. You get a full catalog, and you kind of support us in a big way. If you want to subscribe to our YouTube, go ahead and do that at FilmBros Podcast.
Yeah, and with that being said, we'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Talk to you guys later.